Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. So today I want to tell you a storytelling about the story of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for from birth to birth, 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 birth to death. Who knows about the story of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is an important figure in the history of Islam. Until now, his people all over the world admire the story of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He is a role model for Muslims until now and hereafter. Prophet Muhammad SAW is the closing prophet, completing completing the teachings of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala that have been conveyed by previous prophet. The journey of the Prophet Muhammad could not be separated from effort to call on all mankind to worship Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and show them the straight path in the affairs of this world and the hereafter. Like the previous prophet, Prophet Muhammad SAW received extraordinary revelation and miracles from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. And it is the holy book Al Quran which is a guide for Muslims. Apart from revelations and miracles, other stories of the Prophet Muhammad are no less interesting to observe. Starting from his birth to the story of the death of this lover and noble messenger of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. The following is the story of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which is full of wisdom and hopefully can be an example in our daily life. The birth of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was born in the year of the 11th, which is the year when the 11th troop, led by Abraha Habasha, went to tear down the Kaaba, which is expected to occur on 12 Rabiul Awal. With his greatness, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala stopped the army by sending Ababil birds to drop the stone that broke diseases outbreaks. The story of the Prophet Muhammad is found in the Quran, Surat Al-Fil, which means an army of elephants. It was in this year that Prophet Muhammad SAW was born in Mecca and raised as an orphan because Abdullah, Prophet Muhammad's father, died before Rasulullah SAW was born several years after spending time with his mother, Aminah. The Prophet Muhammad was then raised by his grandfather Abdul Muttalib. Unfortunately, his grandfather's age was also only short. After 2 years of being raised by his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib died at the age of the 8th prophet, and the prophet was raised by his uncle Abu Talib. Abu Talib is known as a generous person even though his life is poor or not sufficient for his daily needs. Only with this circumstance, the Prophet Muhammad SAW can develop and grow with his uncle. The Prophet Muhammad received the first revelation. Before becoming an apostle, the Prophet Muhammad had received several special gifts from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, such as a clean and shining face, the bed, the moonlight, the area where Halimah, the mother who breastfed the prophet, grew even though it was arid and dry, and so on. Thus are the signs of Allah's greatness which indicates the coming of the last prophet who has the highest position later. When the apostle went to get his first revelation, The apostle had a dream of the angel Gabriel approaching him. The apostle was alone in Hira cave to be precise above Jabal Nur. That's where the apostle was shown that his dream was true. The angel Gabriel also came to the apostle, and the first revelation that he broke from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala was in Surah Al Alaq, which means recite in mentioning the name of your Lord who created. He has created man from a clot of blood. Read, and your Lord is the most gracious who teach humans by means the word. He taught man what he did not know. Even though the prophet was afraid, that's where the story of the prophet Muhammad as an apostle begins. That's where the arrival of the last prophet who will bring peace to all mankind, preaching in secret. After, after getting the first revelation, the prophet then did preaching in secret. The people who became his first followers were Khadijah, Abu Bakar Ashidik, and Zaid bin Harithah, Aiman, Ali bin Abu Talib, and Bilal bin Rabah. Allah orders dakwah openly. After several years of preaching secretly, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala commanded in Surat Al-Hijr verse 94 and ordered the Prophet to press openly. It means, so convey by you openly everything that is ordered to you, and turn away from the polytheists. Zakat orders in the age of the Prophet. At the time of Rasulullah SAW, in his first year in Medina, the Prophet and his companions, along with all the Muhajirin, Quraysh Muslim who migrated from Mecca to Medina, were still faced with how to run a livelihood business in this new place. This was because apart from not all of them were well-off people, except for Usman bin Affan, all their possession and wealth were also left in Makkah. When the condition of the Muslims began to prosper, to be precise in the second year of Hijrah, then the obligation to pay zakat was enforced. Prophet Muhammad SAW immediately sent Muaz bin Jabal to become Qadli in Yemen. The apostle also gave advice to him to convey to the people of the book a number of things, including conveying the obligation of zakat by saying, convey that Allah has made obligatory zakat on their property which is collected from the rich and given to the poor among them. As the head of state at the time, the prophet's words were immediately obeyed by all Muslims without any resistance. Prophet, property that was zakat at the time of Rasulullah SAW, namely livestock such as goats, cows, camel, then valuable items such as gold and silver, then plants such as poultry, barley, wheat, dried grapes, and dates. But then the types develop in line with the nature of the development of the property or the nature of acceptance to be developed in the property itself, which was called to illat. Based on the illat that is determine the law of zakat. The principle of zakat taught by Rasulullah SAW is teaching and caring. Therefore, zakat must be able to foster a sense of empathy and mutual support for fellow Muslims. In other words, zakat must be able to change people's life, especially surface in the age of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam carried out the sacrifice while performing the pilgrimage of Wada in Mina. At that time, Rasulullah SAW slaughtered 100 camels. He slaughtered 63 camels himself, while the rest were slaughtered by Ali bin Abi Thalib karamullah wajah. All the sacrificial animals were slaughtered after the Idul Adha prayer. In Surah Al-Hajj, verse 36, it is explained about the types of animal used as sacrifice. The purpose of the sacrifice, how to slaughter the sacrifice animal, when to eat the sacrificial meat, and the people who can eat the sacrificial meat. That's all from me. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Hopefully, it will useful for us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.